Also, like Thresh is indeed better at roaming than Morgana, so that we really can't like compare you to him, like that player in this game specifically. But can you see the screen?
Yes.
Great, great. So other than that, like I think that was like one of the reasons why the game was pretty good. And another thing was that he just this Pike just played out of his mind. He was really good.
Yeah.
Um, Early lane, like it's pretty straightforward. Like they're allowed to do this because like you have to leash,
Leash. Yeah.
and like they have to pull lane. Like this really can't do much about this. This is just a counter matchup, and the way that this works, they're gonna hit first to two. Luckily, Italy's most likely not going to be looking for like early pressure on you, like and specifically in lane, unless you guys like try to like shove the lane in like a really weird sense. With that in mind, like one of the things that you guys could definitely do like here is, it's mainly Jin's fault that he's like constantly auto attacking the wave like this. But after you get rid of melees, like it is usually better. I guess like I will just tell this to you so you could tell your support while you're like scrimming. But normally when lanes are like this, like you know that you don't have first level control, and like they actively burn the minion like this. Can you see my cursor as well?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
Wait, there's like the volume thing on the. Do you see that on Discord, or is that just me?
Let me see.
Because I can't get it off my screen, so it's on your screen. But like on
Interesting.
Discord, it shows like the volume thing. Like
Let
stop
me.
watching. Stream
Yeah, let me see if I could change that here. Oh, it seems like it's actually in the recording,
Oh,
so I
it's
should.
from mine.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's from the
Wait,
recording, so
okay.
like it's fine. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so like this is the reason why like I've been like this is one thing that I learned in academy a lot, is in bot lane matchups where level 1 is like really vulnerable. One of the best scenarios you could get out of it is, so like contesting like this is pointless because you're gonna lose first to two anyway, right? After this lane is neutralized and they're just going to like after these melees are down and the ranges are thinned down because you can't accept this push, they're just gonna walk towards you and you're gonna have to back off, right? Because they're just gonna auto attack you.
Yeah.
So
I
it
should just watch on them or what?
I think there's two things that you could do. One is that you can indeed play the lane volatile. I think it depending on what this guy put on at level 1. Like if this guy used
Yeah.
W like this, then you could just walk forward and just like go for either hook or flay. Either one's fine as long as you get one of them. And then if you get Morgana, that'll probably be the best because she's like the squishiest. And if you ignite her, then she has to burn flash. And like, so that's one thing that you could play it. Another option that you could play too, because I remember this because Biofrost did this to my support bot lane, where he'll just walk into this bush and then they have to play all the way back here.
Yeah. But they can't. They are not because Jen is matching me, right? He should
Yeah,
be on the top side.
yeah, he should be here, in
Yeah.
closer in
They're matching
proximity.
eight, right? Yeah.
Yep, correct.
But now they're allowed to go up because Jen's not doing that, right? So
Exactly.
like, yeah.
So like that's one thing, and another thing is, if he's gonna hug this bot side, then what he should do along with you is that you just control this place, and then just wait for the wave to shove in because the range is gonna get thinned out, and like you really can't touch these without them hitting you. Like this guy's like fucking trolling, like going for this instead of going for his HP.
True. He should have
Yeah,
just let like the wave push,
yeah.
and
If
then like we send that bush, and then they won't be level 2. So like if they walk up, we can just engage on them, and they'll
hmm
be even better.
and if that
Kind of like
happens,
match, right?
exactly. So he's doing the worst of like both traits.
Yeah, yeah,
And what we can do now is instead of queuing this, like if these three minions stay alive, they're gonna be full HP, right? The way that these are working, and this one's gonna die soon. So if these three full HP minions like actually go into this tower, the wave like unless you're playing like two hyper clear support like bot lane matchup, you can never shove the first tower like minion wave all the way in. It's gonna stay right here.
yeah,
So like the thing is, like since you have the benefit of being ranged and also Jin has the benefit of being ranged, the level 2 disparity is not as bad because you're right beneath their tower and they cannot walk forward to hit you as a result.
yeah,
So you're minimizing the level 2 deficit that you have by being playing under here. So this guy played the worst of both trades.
yeah.
Both plays were
And
possible.
yeah, yeah. He didn't do any of them.
Yeah. So like those are the things to keep in mind. I think this is like a good example. Like this is a good thing, especially to know in like collegiate, because a lot of collegiate, especially if they think that bot laners are better players, so they'll just like pick Senna or they'll play Caitlyn and do this all the time, and that's the way that you could punish them.
But I feel like it's that's as a support, I always find myself. That's why I like to dual queue in like voice comms. 'Cause
Right.
a lot of like ADs don't know or don't do this. And
Yeah.
it's like really frustrating because I can't control it as well as they can. You know?
Correct. Yeah, especially during their early lane manipulation, like they are the one with the most AD, so they have the more agency. But it's up. But like if you look at like, Biopros is like a really bad example now because he's not seen as that much of a good player. But like Vincent does this really well, where like he would like call for this and he'll be like, "Yo, this is not allowed. Like we're going in right now," and like it's like really active. And like he's very certain about it, so like the AD carrier is like, all right, and then like they get rewarded because like he knows the window, so they just like kill them straight up.
Yeah, yeah. I usually know that window too. Like I'm pretty good at it, but like it was like hard for me because they're playing topside because Jen isn't matching.
Right.
Or like he didn't do the other thing where like you just let it push in and then we hug that bush and then they're still level 1, we're level 1, then we can just flash on them. We're like going.
I just want to ask, like, this is just a curious thing. Were you checking if they reset?
Yeah, I was trying to stop their backs, but I guess I just got, I don't know.
Because I think they just read you. I think that's what ended up happening.
I should have just landed in the bush.
I think you just land to the bush and just walk away, or like even better, if you think that they're going there, just like feint a movement. Just walk forward a little bit here because like you effectively know if Morgana's in this bush, like how far is the Q range?
Like all the way, pretty much to me, it'll hit me.
Yeah, right. Like if you're in this range, like you're probably in danger.
Yeah.
So if you walk in and then just walk right back out, you're pretty much getting all the info that you need because if you see this Q come out, you very well know that Caitlyn's somewhere here too. So like, I guess that's another like it's just a minor feedback. It's not as big as the one before, but like it's just something to keep in mind. Because
I always feel like when something happens to me, I have to like punish them.
right.
Like, so like, I don't know. Like, I was just mad that like they got a kill and like we died or whatever. So I was like, oh, I want to fuck with them now. You know?
Yeah.
I just ended up dying because I was too greedy.
Because in this, even in ganks like these, like you really don't want to like pull the jungler here, because if you see his situation, like he has to reset here, otherwise he's gonna be so behind in tempo versus Nidalee. Like this champion's clear sucks already. So like if he does triple here and then resets and just goes topside, then even then he's going to be behind tempo. So in that regards, maybe it's worth it. But other than that, like unless you have Lantern to directly assist him, I don't see this working that well.
Yeah, I don't know. He pinged on the way, but maybe I was trying to go too early.
Yeah.
I should have just like waited and then maybe they walk up.
Yeah. Because you land all the skills on the critical target, and like the unfortunate like circumstance is that like you just like the Jhin wasn't again in position. Like he was hitting Caitlyn instead of hitting Morgana. So if that worked out, then that probably it would have worked for the best, because I do think that targeting Morgana here is the correct answer.
Yeah.
But it just happens, and like you just have to and this is the way that they're gonna have to be going to be allowed to play, because they just got that play and they get the first reset on their own timer while Jhin is just stuck here for a little bit. Yeah. Other than that, like this is like the one that I just want to like point out. So like this movement is correct. I'm not saying that this is not incorrect. Like I think this is right. But what I think one of the things that I'm gonna probably be talking about a little bit often in these points is I think I want you to think about things that you can do other than directly manipulating the lane, because I think you're very well aware of like the way that the minion wave is positioned. Obviously, this one's like a pretty easy one to like figure out, that if you like walk in right now, then Pyke's gonna be in danger, because if you try to start a fight here, then Fizz is probably gonna kill him. So you reserve. You play reserved and you just wait we just see how the Fizz is going to play. This stuff is really good. But another thing that you could look for is
Deeper wards.
Yeah, deeper wards, because you saw the status right here, and like this is the reason why I like doing POV reviews, because I want to see like I could see like your intent. So you know that Jin's like autoing this wave, and like he probably like went through the cycle, because look at his mana, he spent a little bit, so he's actually using spells to like push this wave. So this wave is gonna shove it. So what you need right now is you need a location on Nidalee, and you happen to have one ward.
Yeah, she's probably bot side since we just made a top side play and she didn't show.
Good. So like where do you think is like one place that you could ward right now without putting yourself in immediate danger?
Probably like middle of river.
Yeah, right here is really good, right?
Yeah.
Because if this guy tries to hop the wall and tries to go all the way around, we're gonna be able to spot him. And with this ward right here, we're gonna be able to identify if he does this, and like if he does lane gank, then you could predict it as well. The way that off of the way that Morgana plays, Morgana will play differently if he's like if they're going for a lane gank.
Yeah, I had a feeling when we went in that middle he was in the bush too, but we had like 4 people coming down.
Yeah, I think that is like more around the timing rather than like the intent. So like I wasn't like spotting like thinking about it too much.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. I should have just warded the river instead for sure.
Yeah, because I think these lane plays are good, but you just have to think about like tracking junglers, because this is a timer that typically, like if you look at Worlds games, if you like the 2 support, who do you think are the 2 supports that you should be looking at when you're at Worlds right now?
Mickey X and well, Mickey's gone, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I was usually looking at Mickey X and Hillising, but now that they're gone, I guess the 2 that are in Sunning. I don't know their supports names actually. Sunning and
Take a look at Barrel gameplay and look at the way that he manipulates like vision control during his free times, because if you look at his tracking patterns, all of it is basically centered around, since he understands that like this timer means that the wave is going to be pushing back, he always like wards key points where the junglers are going to be, so like his ghost is always safe. And what he does afterwards is like when the wave is about to crash, that he looks for another roam timer.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's also good because Scuttle's probably coming up soon, like
Yeah.
the second one. So yeah, I could have done one middle river ward and then saved that ward for when we crash this wave and then gone for a deep ward and then move up.
Yeah. Another thing is, I think another thing that I saw that I liked that you did was how you like surrendered bridge control against this comp. Like it's something that like, it's like really smart to do, because of one thing is that you can't contest it, like that's obvious. Another one is that you also get closer proximity to the river. And like if you're able to drop this ward, then you're actually incentivized to play around here.
Yeah.
Because if you play like this, it weakens lane ganks too. So like you're pretty much accomplishing 2 purposes at the same time. So like it's something that you should definitely look into, because wards like this is good, but if you have it right here, then you just have it covered in both ways.
Yeah. Except it's a little bit harder versus Italy. That's why I want to get the other blue ward instead.
Right.
Because she can just hop the wall and then it like escape the.
That is fair. So like probably something around here would be better then, because this one's the one that you want to be scared about hopping, and then like also like this one's gonna be covered because of your like the ward here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's not that big of a deal, but it's just I just want to like give a little bit of continuity to how like your original right movements could even be more rewarded if you have like the right intent in it.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Other than that, like it's pretty clear that you're a better player than Morgana, and like this kind of shows a lot just off of the way that this guy plays and like the way that you're reacting. And another thing that was like other than that, like it wasn't that eventful other than this one right here, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
So what do you think is the right way for you to play this?
Yeah, I didn't really know. Like, I feel like we just wait for the minions to crash on us, like to wait for our minions to like crash, so we can use it to like protect ourselves.
Yeah. I think saying that you should play around Caitlyn trap here is a little bit cheesy to say, because one is pretty result based and another is that it's really hard to play around it because it's a huge chunk of like unseen.
Yeah,
but
we see her placing it, so it's like
true.
Really, yeah.
But like you don't specifically know where it is, and like sometimes like the hitbox is kind of fat, so like you could run into it by accident. So like, but I'm not gonna like, it's not something to harp on, but one thing to definitely do like think about is the way that you should be positioning yourself in relative to your AD carry, because like you're going to bet, you better bet that like they're going to be targeting this gen after, and you just need to be ready for it. So like in situations like this, I think the first movement that you did make where you're walking forward is actually correct, because the way that you should probably play this is when the moment that you see this bind, you pretty much can expect that like this is going to happen, so you just need to walk up initially to Morgana, because she's the one that is closer in proximity to tower, and then just force Black Shield because she knows that she's gonna get tower aggro. So she's gonna immediately use Black Shield reactively to save her ass because otherwise she's gonna die. But instead of using Flay on her, you should use it on Caitlyn because you know that like after the bind, he has to walk forward for the double trap. The range is not that good on this ability. So if you flay her while she is in motion of doing so, then she cannot not only drop the trap, but she also has to de-aggro. Because she's going to be slowed, and if she auto-attacks, then she's going to also be in danger of the tower.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
So you simultaneously save your AD carry, and at the same time, like apply HP pressure to them.
Yeah, I was scared that I was in lethal range, because she
Right.
would just like EQ auto, and then I just died.
Yeah. IMO?
And right there I had to like dodge the Q too.
Yeah.
Or else, like, that's why I didn't walk up fully, but...
This is really dicey, because I actually think that this guy should have died.
Yeah.
And like it's something that, so if that is the case, then it's the debate of whether or not you die or the AD carry dies, and unfortunately when that question gets asked, it's usually the support.
True. I don't know, I don't know why he like walked up though.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think but if this happens, then like I'm just pointing this out because I think your initial response, like where you're moving like this, is actually correct. Because you do this and then you just immediately back off because of the Q, but like the original movement, if it is done slightly earlier, is probably beneficial for both of you.
Yeah. True.
Let's see. Where do you think you should drop your control word?
I was gonna save it. I was probably behind my red buff, but I was gonna save it for a flank gank or something, like a TP engage. But we have gen traps.
Yeah.
So probably just behind red buff, I think.
Yeah, like somewhere around here, so this wall gets spotted out, right?
Yeah.
This would be really good. I just wanted to ask you because I was also thinking about it myself. But yeah, I think that was the best place. That was just in my notes. Also, another thing is that a lot of Nidalees just have the bad habit of not trying to lane gank and always trying to flank, especially when they're on red side and like this entire place is available to them.
Yeah.
So like this wall's their best friend, so like that's like a good mental exercise that you could pull on them to screw them over.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I haven't seen Nidalee lane ganks in forever. This
Yeah, they rarely do it. I think this one is like really.
That was smart.
It was good. It was relatively telegraphed because of like the timer of the objective. Because I also noticed that you looked at it as well, and it's right here, right?
Yeah, I knew like something was like I knew it was coming, but we just stopped both players.
So like I think again, like I think it's a question of timing rather than anything, but it is like one of those timers where you kind of expect that this guy's just going to be here because there's nowhere else to be on the map.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw an opportunity there. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think like stuff like this is fine to look at, but you just need to, but like you probably felt confidence because of that ping right here.
Yeah. Also, like, if I was thinking like, okay, Nidalee could be here, but if she's not here, then this is a really good play.
Yeah. And we already talked about this. I don't need to repeat it, but other than that, like the play is not bad to look at. If you probably did this like 5 seconds later, then all three of these folks die.
Yeah. True.
Anyway, they die anyway, but so it doesn't really matter in that case. Like, so if we want to based on results,
like if Nidalee is there, then they'll stay. But if Nidalee's not there, then they're obviously gonna run. So,
Yeah.
like, if I don't pull the trigger now, then it's just because like they'll know that like Pike is coming and like. Yeah.
I want to ask this because I think this is like the part that I think sorry, I was thinking because this is like the last point that I really want to like ask you about. What was your intent in going top lane?
Just killing him mainly.
Killing him? Okay. I think I want to elaborate on it a little bit because I think this move is really good, but not for the reasons that you just told me. Are there any other ones that you could tell me right now?
Yeah, his bot lane just died. We're having push bottom. Jen's hitting tower. He's gonna reset. So by the time he pushes the tower, recalls, resets. I'll probably make it in time for like the same time as he will. And then mid is not there. Mid's also bottom. So like also like no one's gonna go back bottom. Like if they are, it's gonna take forever. So I'm just gonna do nothing for like at least 30 seconds bot lane. So I was just like, okay, might as well do something. So I'll just go top.
Yeah, really good. Because I think the part that you pointed out that is correct is the part where this is the only play that they have in their book now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If they don't blow up the game here right now, then they're going to lose the game. They just three of them died. They're actually behind tempo. So if the only way that they catch up to tempo is not matching but creating a play on the cross map and by equalizing it. And if you're already off the pad earlier than the Morgana who's already dead and you're able to like stay here, then it's like really, really fast and good for you to do this. And with that in mind, I think you have to know that you're ahead on tempo. So you actually have liberty to not even like check, like after you check this bush, you could actually just straight up walk in here. Because only person that could technically be here is Gangplank. Otherwise, like they can't be here. And I think you actually even have the luxury off of the way that this wave is looking to go all the way here and then just ward Raptors or ward Krugs or like red.
Oh, I see them do that a lot actually.
So like it's because you have that tempo. Like Morgana's gonna be off the pattern, she's gonna be here. If Nidalee's here, she's gonna be here. So like you just have this timer to like just ward these camps, and then detect the play before it comes. And also this guy like plays super disrespectfully, so he dies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he probably didn't expect the Thresh to be top, to be honest.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, but.
Solo queue, but like this intent is good, and I think it's something that if you have that like thought process in mind, then it will definitely be a better play because it's just a way that it's something that you should replicate in comp a lot. And if you can get it off consistently, then you're in a really good spot. Let me see if there is much else. Let me run down the notes. One last thing, I guess. 1720. Because otherwise, after this, the game gets pretty snowbally, as you probably expect. This is like the thing that is a little bit, that was like pretty interesting, because now you have the control. So like Jhin is like catching the wave early, so this wave is going to crash. When do you think is the timer for bot lane to like their bot lane to respond to the wave? Like, or rather, when are they truly like restrained underneath their tower?
What do you mean, like right now?
So like for example, at what timing specifically are they like required to be underneath their tower?
After this wave pushes in.
So good. So like
So I should have gone in this early.
yeah. Because they're not required to be in the mid lane right now. I think that's the point that I'm trying to get across. Because this ward is really nice. It actually it controls a lot of the time thing that you should be allowed to control off of the mid tower going down. But they could technically defend this. And also, like, you've made it pretty convenient for them because this is closer onto the top side, so Caitlyn just has to be here.
Yeah. True, okay. I was thinking... At first, I was just thinking, yeah, that ward, I placed it too far in. But now, I should be thinking I shouldn't go that early because they can just contest it.
Yeah, because if you do it here, and then just drop the pink ward, and then delete it, then what's going to happen is that they're going to try to reestablish this. First of all, they have to play a little bit of like have to play the game of chicken because you might be in here with Shaco. And another thing is by the time that they like get 4 autos in here together, then like you're already going to be having vision established here already. So every single time they're going to have to do the same exact motions to get to dragon, and by that time the dragon's going to be gone.
I think I do that a lot with my vision, where like I don't wait for them to catch and I just place it. From now I'll keep that more in mind.
So yeah, I think that's like the major things that I got out of this game. Unless you want to talk about anything else, I'll like leave like 5 minutes for it. But yeah, I think the things that I got off of that is that I think the fundamental things that you need for to play like support at a high level is like there for you. You just need to think a little bit more about like why specific things are happening or vice versa, like specifically like things work like that, and just worry a little bit more about when you're roaming. Just worry a little bit more about like where the jungler proximity is versus like the lane status, because lane status is really easy to identify, and like that is the reason why roams should happen in the first place. But the second thing that is going to like catch your ankle, especially when you get into higher levels and the junglers actually start to know what they're doing, is junglers will actually start matching support roams and be there as a numbers advantage. And when you're making these plays without the location of the jungler identified, then you might get in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, that happens. Or that's happened before.
So like that's something that you could definitely look into if you want to like improve your gameplay. When one of the things that I do like having at the end of review is like just have a little bit of metric to keep in mind when you're playing the game. When you're looking at replays, one of the things that you could really look into that you told me that are problems and things that I noticed is track the number of track the amount of time that your control boards are staying in one spot and like how much it is being contested based on like how you're playing along with your waves, and try to have it last throughout the entire turn being the objective staying alive, or like think of it in a way where like how long you actually had to keep it alive, and if you had to sacrifice it, what did you get in return.
Okay.
Another thing that you could keep track of for the sake of like roaming and things like that is I think you have no problem identifying which ways you could roam in, so that's not thing that we should track. One thing that we should track, however, is specifically how what decisions did you make on during your roam based on the jungle knowledge that you had, or rather did you make a decision based upon where the jungler proximity was and how that, and connect that to your success and identify a pattern. If you consciously think about your jungler's enemy jungler location and your roams, then you'll realize that you're going to be thinking about it more, and that I promise you it's going to be more successful and like it's going to be less volatile.
Okay. Got it. That's really good, actually. I should do that.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I usually think more. I never think about where the enemy jungler could, or not never, but like 20% of the time I won't.
It's hard.
Maybe even more.
It's very
Depending on where
difficult.
they are. But when I'm in lane, I'm always tracking the jungler because
Mhm.
I've always been ganked so many times, and I hate it so much. So like I've gotten really good at that. But yeah, when I'm roaming, I should keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. So make sure that happens. So otherwise it shouldn't be that big of a problem. So yeah, if there's anything else, I'm gonna head out. But if you want any more sessions like this, just keep me in the loop. I think I yeah, I think you had like it was a nice combo for me as well. So yeah, keep in touch if you want to like have more. So because I also know Dreas too. So like send his regards. Send him my regards.
Okay, well, yeah, I think I would love to do another one because I feel like this game was really. You did point out some good stuff and it helped a lot, but I think it was a lot topside oriented.
Yeah.
So like, but it was really helpful.
Mhm.
I like a lot of the things.
If you want to get your AD on board with this too, like I'm fine with that. Like I'm open to that as well. It's just gonna be one session with both of you guys in here as a combo. So if you want to set that up, then like I'm more than happy to.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know if he will because Sasuke doesn't really. He's kind of just chilling in his own thing.
Ah, okay,
I'll
gotcha.
ask him.
All right, sounds good. All right, see you, man.